Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Winging It by Matt Tressel. So we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, meaning in each row, each column, and each 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have these green lines in the grid. These are German whisper lines. So what that means is any two adjacent digits on the line have to have a difference of at least 3. So if this was a 2, this could be 5 or 6. 5 has a difference of 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. 6 minus 2 is 4, so those work. If this was, say, a 4, though, that doesn't work. 4 minus 2 is 2, which is not at least 3. So they need to be at least 3 away. And so if a 2 was here, for example, then both of these would have to be at least 3 away from the 2, because they're both adjacent to the 2. All right, we also have quadruples in the grid. That's these circles with the digits inside them. Each digit in the circle has to appear at least once within the 4 cells that it touches. So we could do, say, a 1, 2 here, or we could do 1, 2 here. We could even do 1, 1, 2, 2 if we wanted. We could repeat them. But what we can't do is say 2, 3, 4, 5, because now we're missing a 1 in these 4, and that violates our quad. All right, and that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. Okay, how do we want to get started? Always a good question. So one thing to note, that this is done a lot in quad puzzles, is that these quads line up. So we don't know where the 1 and 2 go here, and we don't know where the 1 and 2 go here. But we do know that they're going to use up all of the 1s and 2s for these 2 columns. Because we're going to have maybe like 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2 here. Or maybe we'd have a 1, 2 here with a 1, 2 here. Right? But what we can't do is like 1 here and 1 here. We can't repeat it in the column. So because we know there's a 1 and a 2 here, and we know there's a 1 and a 2 here, these 2 columns, these specifically, cannot be 1 or 2. So these are from 3, 4, 5, 6. Similar deal here, where we know the 2 is used up here. This uses up one of the 2s. This uses up the other one for the 2 rows. 2 rows have 2 2s. One of them's here, one of them's here. So these can't be 2. These are from 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Just trying to note that it's not 2. All right. So that's kind of the easy stuff from the quads. Let's take a look up here then. So there's something about German whisper lines that is very important to understand, which is they always alternate low, high, low, high, low, high. So let's say this one, let's just do clean over here. Let's say this one was a 1, 2, or 3. We call that low. It's the lower half of our 1 to 6 range. Then this cell here has to be at least 3 different. Now we can't subtract 3 from a 1, 2, or 3. We would be 0 or lower. So we have to add at least 3 to these. And by adding at least 3, even the smallest digit, the 1, jumps up to 4, 5, 6. So you'll notice there's no overlap here. And we'll call these the high digits. Once we're in the high digits, you'll note that we'll have to go back down to 1, 2, 3. So we always alternate low, high, low, high, low, high across the line. Now, we don't know whether we start low or high up here, but we do know we alternate. So I can color this. I can call this green, then purple. Whatever this ends up being, if this is low, then green is low. If this is high, then green is high. The only thing we know then is that the purple is the other one. So it's what green isn't. And so now we can just alternate green and purple to sort of designate how this line is switching between low and high. Now, when we do that, we'll note that the only low digit available in this green and this purple is a 3. And so one of these 2 will be a 3. Now I'm going to tell you it's not going to be this one, because 3 and 4 actually are both very special in that they only have one buddy that can be next to it. So if this was a 3, how do we do at least 3 different from 3? Well, we can't subtract 3 or more. That's 0 or less. So we have to add 3 or more, and that immediately gets us to 6. So that looks okay, right? But now this digit here is also next to a 3 and also needs to be a 6, and that breaks both the row and the box. Can't repeat a digit. So that is not going to be a 3, meaning that purples are high. Now I like to use orange for high because it's kind of a hot color, and blue for low. And so this ends up 3, and that makes that a 6. Great, so now we know this is high, so it's not 1 or 3. So this is 4, 5, 6, not a 6. And these are from 1, 2, 3, that's not a 3. Now we know this isn't a 3, because again, it would be surrounded by 6s. So that makes this a 1, 2 pair. Oh, and again, I said 4 was special as well. This can't be a 4, because then both of these would have to be 1 in order to be 3 different. It's the same deal, just the other way. So this is a 5, surrounded by a 1, 2 pair. And that is not a 5. All right, we can clean these up a little bit. This is now from 1 to 4. Now, something we do know is that because of this 1, 2, we must include a 4 here, right? 4 is in one of these two. So this quad is going to get a 1, 2 from one of these two, but it's going to have to get the other 1, 2 from down here. And so we know that whatever this 1, 2 isn't, it's going to be in this quad over here. And that means that this quad here can't get a 1, 2 at all from this box, right? Because this quad only gets 1, 1, 2 from up here. It's going to have to get the other 1, 2 from down here, which then is going to pair up with this 1, 2. So let's say it end up here. Like, just as an example, let's say this was the 1, 2. These are going to pair up. It's going to affect the row, and it's going to affect the rest of the box. Or if it was here, it's the exact same thing. Affects the row, affects the rest of the box. So these can't be 1 or 2. These are from 3, 4, 5, 6. Meaning that in order to get a 1 and a 2 down here, this has to be a 1, 2 pair. Meaning that's not a 1. These are from 3, 4, 5, 6, not a 5. 5's in one of these two. This 1, 2 pair means that this needs to get a 2 from one of these two. Okay. Now, no 5 down here. Let's see, is there anything like... Okay, so this needs a 5, so the 5 ends up in one of these two, because this 5 says not here. So that means one of these two is a 5. So this cannot be a 5. Is the next step to look at this guy? It might be. So this isn't 1, because the 1, 2 pair. In fact, we know that both, okay, yeah, we know both 1 and 2 are down here, because the 1, 2 pair takes that out of here. It's the roping concept that we have in 6x6s, which is that these 3 digits will always be the same as these 3 digits in some order, because they can't go here, and they got to go somewhere in the box. Same with these 3 being these 3. That's our roping. And so there is a 1 and a 2 down here. Now, they can't be next to each other, because they have a difference of 1. And so this middle one has to be a high digit surrounded by a 1, 2. And so that means it will be next to a 2, meaning it can't be a 4, so it has to be from 5, 6. This was never going to be a 4. But... So now we know this goes low, then high, then low, then high, then low. So this is a high digit, so it's not 3, and this is a low digit, so it's not 4 or 6. 3 could be a 6 here. This definitely can't be a 4 for reasons we've talked about. It makes a 5, 6 pair here, so this is actually a 3, 4 pair. So this can't be 3, 4, and it can't be 5. So this has to be the 6, making that a 4, making that 1 and that 2. This is now 3 to finish the column. I don't think I really need to be coloring a whole lot of low highs anymore, so let's just get rid of the colors. That's 5 and 6. 5 can't be next to 3, so that's 1, that's 2, and that's 1. That's not 3, that's not 6, that's not 4. Okay, these aren't 2. All right, so for roping, we know this is 2, 3, 6, and this is 1, 4, 5. So this can only be 4. That gives us 5 and 1. That places 5 here. This is 3 or 6. Oh, but it has to be high. It's not a 3. 3 is too close to 1. So that's our 6. That's 3. That's 2 and 6. That's not a 2. That's 2. This is a 3, 4 pair, I would think. This 4 tells us the order. That's 3 and 4. That's 4 and 3. That's 5 and 6. 4 and 5. 1 and 4. 2 and 1. This is 3. That's 2. And we're done. Cool puzzle, Matt. I liked the interaction here. That was neat. I liked how the kind of virtual 1, 2 pairs kind of propagated down, forcing this 1, 2 pair. And then had I thought about that for 1 second about how that affects the roping, I would have then seen immediately that forces the 1, 2 pair to be down here, telling us which ones are low. Very cool. Well, I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. If you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.